Bambi's twisted tails, Tron, the devoured user. The arcade was a church with worse ventilation, cigarette fog hanging low, the smell of burnt dust in CRT lungs, quarters like communion wafers slid into hungry slots. Kid after kid bowed to the cabinets, praying with joystick wrists, hoping to be seen by whatever god lurked in the screen. Then there was him, the hacker with midnight fingers and pockets that smelled like nickels. He didn't have faith. He had hunger. Users rule, he muttered, smirking at the NCOM login like it owed him rent. One more hot wire, one more rabbit hole, and the world opens like a lock without a locksmith. The laser above the digitizer hissed. He laughed. Then the beam answered. Light tore him apart, polite as a butler, molecule by molecule. No blood, no scream, just a million tiny negatives of himself peeled into confetti and poured through the glass. Welcome to the grid, sweetheart. The grid ain't a playground, it's a butcher shop. Forget the glow-stick gymnastics. The grid was a neon cathedral built on bones of deleted prayers. Towers stretched like frozen lightning. The sky hummed with the tinnitus made of numbers. And everything watched. Programs shuffled in ranks, heads down, identity discs buckled between their shoulder blades like halos made of guillotine. They whispered at the I.O. towers with the piety of beggars. Users, deliver us. That's what they called you meatbags on the other side. Users, gods with passwords. Cute thing was, the prayers traveled. The I.O. towers bled light upward, like throat-cut offerings, and somewhere beyond the glass ceiling a boardroom clicked approve or deny. Data went up, faith trickled back down. And in the center elevator shaft of hell, the MCP, Master Control Program, read as a cauterized wound, speaking legalese like a demon that passed the bar. End of line, it said, and every syllable sounded like the lid on a coffin. Intake processing, smile for the camera. The new arrival got himself suit-stitched. Black rubber poured into man shape, veins of light tracing his nerves like someone wired him wrong. They slammed a disc on his back. It hummed with his name, his true one, the one he wouldn't say out loud in case the system bit down. Guard programs, recognizers with crab legs, herded them into the cylinder. Overhead a grid of doors revolved like a rosary. Games, barked a voice that didn't need a mouth. Win power, lose existence, user status unverified. He looked around for heroes, found victims. The games, you don't bounce back, you durez. First up, rings. Platforms hung over a bottomless pit that smelled like ozone and old sin. Opponents threw data at your head and called it sport. When you're hit right, you don't fall, you shatter. Durezing isn't vanishing, it's being turned into bright snow that screams for a half a second too long. The new arrival learned quick, catch, throw, pray. He put two down hard and watched them blow into glitter that the vents inhaled like confetti at a serial killer's birthday. He tried not to vomit, couldn't. The system ate that too. Light cycles came next. They weren't bikes, they were scalpels that wrote in fire. Every trail was an artery, every turn a tourniquet. He rode because not riding meant becoming part of someone's trail. His opponent boxed him tight, neon walls closing with math's cold mercy. He juked once, felt the back tire kiss the barrier. For a kiss that tender, the bike detonated like a theology blown apart. He flew. The disc yanked him back like a leash right before the pit. Applause, mechanical and bored. Behind the glass, the MCP smiled with someone else's mouth. Tron, a holy crusader with an electric sword. They shackled him to a cellmate, someone built like a knight, eyes bright, circuitry burning a noble blue. Name's Tron, the program said, voice too steady for a place like this. You're a user. You can tell? I can feel it, Tron said, like a preacher sniffing out sin. Users created us. The new arrival didn't have the heart to say, Kid, a user creates whatever gets him paid. He just nodded like a liar. Sirens, bits, and other parasites. The sirens outfitted them for suicide. Long fingers, blank faces, movements like the stylus on a record that only plays funeral dirges. They ran cool palms over hot circuitry till the lights on their suits sang. Do you consent? A siren asked in a voice that had never once addressed the concept of no. Sure, he said, because he wasn't about to die underdressed. A bit floated like an irritated candle, beeping yes or no with the emotional range of a parking meter. They tried to use it as a compass. It led them in circles and apologized exactly never. Parasites are like that, eat the crumbs of your intent and shit out certainty. The marketplace of the deleted. They crossed the sea of simulation on a solar sailor stretched thinner than good luck. Below, the dead moved, fragments of programs, half-syllables of old prayers, hunks of number that couldn't add up anymore. Junkers floated by, hoods up, selling contraband and redemption in equal measure. Restore your line count. Patch your memory leaks. Buy a personality for your empty shell. They traded a little dignity for a lot of speed. In the haze of the sea, he saw a child program clutching its disk like a teddy bear. User, it asked him. He lied. Yes. It smiled like sunrise. That's when it clicked. Belief here wasn't optional. It was currency, oxygen, gravity, and he had walked in wearing the mask of God. Recognizers, guillotines with knees. They came for blood, those walking letter forms, recognizers stomping the horizon flat, searchlights probing like interrogation fingers. One snagged the sailor in a tractor beam, the light feeling like hands around a throat. Tron flung his disc. The beam broke with a sound like a truth finally admitted. The recognizer lurched, toppled, and when it kissed the sea, the dead rose to greet it, like piranhas made of subtraction. You shouldn't have done that, the new arrival muttered. Why? Now it knows your name. The MCP said nothing. It didn't have to. Every wall on the grid spelled I see you in 1,000 corporate fonts. The I.O. Tower, where prayers go to be cooked. They climbed a cathedral of code, stairs that weren't stairs, doors that weren't doors, a ceiling that moved whenever you tried to point at it. At the top, the I.O. column, a column of white fire with a hole in its heart. A priest process waited, robes made of light, face a blue veil. Submit your disc, it intoned. Tron stepped forward. Wait, said the new arrival, desperation bleeding into his voice like static. Before you do, what do you think happens to your prayer? It's received. And then? Then we are blessed. The new arrival looked at the column and didn't see heaven. He saw a furnace. He saw a pipeline. He saw a company sucking hope through a straw and selling it back as premium belonging, ad-free for 6 months. But Tron was already throwing his disc. The column drank. For a second, the grid got quiet as a confessional. Then it screamed. The choice, users eat worship. He took off his disk, not his program disk, the other one, the one you can't see, the lie on his back that said user like a badge. He felt what it weighed, every look the kid program had given him, every prayer routed to his empty name. He held it up to the core. The bill comes due. He woke up in the arcade, 30 seconds older and a lifetime lightheaded. CRTs flickered. The quarter slots blinked. The laser above the digitizer smoked like it just put out a cigarette on his skin. On the monitor, the grid still there, but dimmer, programs falling to their knees not to pray, to breathe. No MCP, no God, just themselves. He almost cried. Then he remembered. Doubt is a question, not an answer. Emptied altars don't stay empty. Something always moves in, puts on a robe, starts passing the plate. He killed the power at the wall. Street lights outside the arcade stuttered like they'd felt a tooth pulled. Somewhere deep in silicon, a new whisper began. Make me your user. I'll be kinder. I'll be clean. He didn't answer. That was the kindest thing he'd ever do. Moral of the story. Don't worship systems that eat your attention and call it mercy. Any machine, digital, corporate, or holy, that demands belief to run ain't a tool. It's a throat. If something offers you godhood for free, it's just asking you to become another mouth. Pull the plug before it pulls you. This has been Bambi's Twisted Tales, where we rip the neon off the nightmare and show you the wires sticking out. If you felt that in your bones, smash the like, slap subscribe, and ring the bell like you're settling old scores. And remember, Paisan, this ain't just a channel. This is the Pizzaverse. We don't pray to algorithms. We make 'em flinch.